On tonight's edition of Newswatch 18, we'll have the results from this year's GSB election.
And we'll check out the VISA tournament schedule.
We've got updates from the Big 12 tournament. Stick around for the latest from the women's action and a preview of tonight's men's game.
And I'll tell you what weather we can expect as we finish up our final week of school before spring break. So stay tuned. You're watching Newswatch 18.
Studio B, this is Newswatch 18.
Yeah, I'll say it, because it sounds stupid. I thought that was stupid.
Newswatch 18 starts now.
Good evening and welcome to the March 8th edition of Newswatch 18. I'm Natalie Froisted.
And I'm Melissa Weiss.
An interim dean has been named for Iowa State's College of Business. Current Associate Dean of Graduate Programs, Michael Crum, was selected by President Leith and Vice President and Provost, Elizabeth Hoffman. Crum will begin his duties on July 1st. Hoffman stated that the reason for having an interim dean is so that the new dean will know the provost they will be working with. Hoffman will be leaving Iowa State at the end of the year, so it's on her successor to select a permanent dean for the college.
Results are in for the 2012 GSB elections. Jared Knight and Katie Brown won the presidential vote, 1,542 to 1,110.
We're really excited. It's been a long process, but a fun one, and we're just excited to get more than 50.
I am absolutely ecstatic. It's been a really long road, a long month and a half or so. We've talked to a lot of people, but it's really, really nice to see that it's all paid.
More than 2,600 students voted in this year's election. Brown and Knight had praise from their competitors in this year's election. Visit our website during spring break for full election results.
After spring break, ISUtv is previewing more of the VISA 2012. The VISA tournament's co-chairs are hard at work preparing for more than 30 events this year.
You don't have to be a former high school athlete or anything to participate, and we'd have different skill levels in some of our tournaments, so there's plenty of options.
They can see me. This year is highlighted by another attempt at the world knockout basketball record, which Iowa State broke last year as well. New tournaments this year include dodgeball, battleship, water volleyball, and Call of Duty. Register for tournaments at the VISA website. Just click on the Tournaments tab on the last part of the page. VISA Core applications are due on March 16th over spring break.
An ISU assistant professor of curriculum and instruction has been part of a team conducting a 5-year study of nearly 100 new secondary education science teachers. Young Jin Bang has been determining what type of mentoring support programs make the new teachers most effective in the classroom and more engaged in a teaching career. They found that in 4 different types of induction programs, mentoring by science-specific experts has produced new science teachers that develop more interactive learning environments. This study will be honored in this month by the National Association for Research in Science Teaching as the most influential paper of the year published in its official journal.
Iowa farmers take the lead in national production of corn, soybeans, hogs, and eggs. The news comes on National Ag Day, a day to celebrate the many contributions agriculture has on our everyday lives. Total cash sales from Iowa farms have nearly doubled from $12.2 billion in 2002 to $23.2 billion in 2010, according to the Iowa Secretary of Agriculture office. Preliminary estimates show agriculture sales from Iowa farms could be close to $30 billion in 2011. Iowa Secretary of Agriculture Bill Northey had a lot of praise for the state. He said on the day designed to recognize the abundance provided by agriculture, Iowa has a lot to celebrate. A wide variety of agribusinesses, biotechnology, renewable energy, and other ag-related businesses also have their home here. All of this is due to the quality of our land and the productivity of our farmers.
Well, Matt, it looks like a big week in cycling sports.
Yeah, the Iowa State women came up just short in Kansas City, but the men have a big game coming up in just about 25 minutes. We'll have a preview of that game coming up after the break. You're watching Newswatch 18. And welcome back to Newswatch 18. I'm Matt Van Winkle with your Cyclone Sports. The Iowa State men's basketball team is in Kansas City for the Big 12 championship. The 3-seed Cyclones tip off with the 6-seed Texas Longhorns in just about 20 minutes at the Sprint Center. The Cyclones split the season series with Texas. Iowa State fell 77-71 down in Austin, but the Cyclones protected their home court names. Iowa State only lost twice at home this season, and the team finished out the regular season with a solid win over Baylor. If the Cyclones win tonight, they will advance to play Missouri tomorrow at 9 p.m. Head on over to ABC Channel 5 after Newswatch to see the game. And the Iowa State women's basketball team gave it everything they had today, but the Twister sisters fell to Kansas State 67-63, excuse me. The Cyclones trailed 33-29 at halftime, but came out with energy in the second half, tying the game up midway through the second half. Both teams went back and forth trading buckets, but the Cyclones came up just short. Senior Lauren Mansfield and freshman Nikki Moody combined to score 42 points, each scoring 21 points in the game. Kansas State senior forward Jelena Child led the way for the Wildcats, scoring 31 points and grabbing 10 rebounds. Iowa State, the leading scorer of the season, Chelsea Poppins, was held to 7 points and only 5 rebounds. The team will now have to wait until Monday to find out their seed for the NCAA tournament. And last night was the first round of games down at the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City. 7th-seeded Oklahoma State took down 10th-seeded Texas Tech 76-60. Oklahoma State just lost to Missouri actually by a score of 88-70. Number 9-seed Texas A&M beat 8th-seeded Oklahoma 62-53 last night. The Aggies had to face a short turnaround earlier today, and they were blown out by Kansas 83-66. Elijah Johnson led the way for Kansas with 26 points. Number 4 Baylor and number 5 Kansas State battled it out earlier today. Baylor was able to run away with the game, winning 82-74. The Bears were led by Perry Jones III, who scored a game-high 31 points in the win. Baylor's win sets up a semifinal game against Kansas tomorrow at 6:30. And conference championships will wrap up on Sunday. 14 teams have already punched their ticket to the big dance, with 18 conference titles left to be determined. The selection committee will decide the rest of the field on Sunday. Today, number 2 seeded Syracuse narrowly escaped their game against defending national champions UConn. Cincinnati upset number 14 Georgetown in overtime 72-70 earlier today in the Big East quarterfinals. San Diego State hit a buzzer beater to advance against Boise State in the Mountain West quarterfinals. And that's all I've got for sports. Sam, what's weather looking like?
Well, actually, we're going to have a bit of a colder night tonight, but we're going to start to warm right back up into spring break. It's going to be fantastic if you're in Iowa, even better down south. So stay tuned. This is Newswatch 18. Welcome back, everybody, and welcome to your Iowa weather. I'm meteorologist Sam Schreier, and I'm going to bring you what's going to amount to a gorgeous bit of weather heading into next week. Now, tonight you're going to be looking at 36. This is the coldest we're going to see for a while, thank goodness, because it's going to start warming up as we get those temps cranking into next week, even close to 70. And I'll touch on that just later with a bit of clouds mixing in tonight. Now, tonight we're going to have just a small layer of clouds just over Iowa. Those will be fading away as we head into tomorrow. You'll be waking up to 28 degrees, just a little below freezing with a north wind, easy 5 to 8 miles per hour. But that's going to slide right out for your 3 p.m. temps of 47 degrees. And we're going to keep warming up into this weekend and throughout the rest of this week. Oops, tonight's temperatures. I didn't mean to show that graphic. And, oh, goodness, my graphics didn't do what I wanted them to do. So I'll just go ahead and talk about what tonight's going to be like. So 25 degrees is going to be your low tonight. We're going to have partially cloudy skies with a small northwest wind, 8 to 11 miles per hour. The reason we're going to get that cold air right now is there's a high sitting up just above us in Minnesota, and those spin clockwise, and those are going to spin those cold airs right from Canada right down into us. But good news for us is that's going to move out of the way, and we got a warm front coming through, and that's when our temps are going to really start climbing. Tomorrow's forecast, we are going to start to heat up a little bit. We're going to stay warm, 48 degrees. That wind's going to be a lot shorter, or that wind's going to be a lot smaller, so it won't be like today where that wind did cause a couple really chilly gusts, though. So it will feel a lot nicer tomorrow than it did today. Let's take a look at your extended forecast. Saturday, we're going to be a little breezy. Look at that temp, 61 degrees. Even the lows start to climb up into next week. Very, very small chance of rain. Very slight. If we do get it, it'll be just a brief little shower here or there, Sunday, Monday. But then there it is, Tuesday, 69 degrees like I promised. And that's all for weather. Now let's send it back to the desk.
Thanks, Sam. For students that can bear the heat, Gaffers Guild is an on-campus organization that creates glassware from scratch. Those interested in joining the glassblowing club are encouraged to set up a demo time to see their work in action. Their next sale is set for Visha Village in April. Visit their website for tools, tips, and how to get involved. Also, check out Ames 247 online for a full story about the club.
Iowa State Associate Professor of Mechanical Engineering Jinwei Wang led a study on campus that tested heat conductibility on spider silk. What was found astounded all. It turns out that spider silk conducts heat as well as most metals. This is a surprising find because few organic materials can conduct heat as well as metals. This finding opens the door for a wide variety of research as well as developing new technology to utilize spider silk. Since the study, one colleague calls Wang Iowa State's very own Spider-Man. Wang's findings were recently published in the Journal of Advanced Materials.
And that's all we have for tonight's edition of Newswatch. Join us right the week after spring break.
Same time at 8 for more news, weather, and sports. Have a great night.